Assistant State Attorney Bill Bishop here in the Okaloosa District. He's certainly been supportive of us in this, and he'll be doing his office will be doing the review in regards to the officer involved shooting and the rest. So thank you for being here, and we'll try to answer all your questions. Chief.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. Robert Page, Chief of Police for Fort Walton Beach Police Department. Yesterday, about 12:35 p.m., we responded to a call at 25 Walter Martin Road for a person shot. Officers arrived at the call within a minute at 12:36. The first initial officer went into the building just to make sure there wasn't an active shooter or anything going on inside, and they were directed to the back parking lot. In the back parking lot, there was a female, a white Hispanic female, 35-year-old Edith Cardona Cantu, and officers immediately responded to her and started to do life-saving measures. They noticed that she appeared to be shot numerous times in the upper body, and there were several witnesses on the scene that gave a description of a gold-colored Toyota that had fled. That information was immediately relayed to the Sheriff's Department and to other law enforcement agencies in Okaloosa County. The officers continued to do life-saving measures, and they were taken over by the Fort Walton Beach Fire Department, and then the female was transported by the Okaloosa County Fire Rescue to the Fort Walton Beach Medical Center, where she passed away. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Larry Ashley.
Thank you, Chief. All that was happening happened pretty quickly. The suspect did engage the victim outside of his vehicle once he got to that business. After the Fort Walton Beach police officers relayed the information at 12:44 p.m., two of the suspect's family members advised law enforcement they had been speaking with the suspect, Clyde, by phone, and that he admitted to shooting Cantu. Law enforcement received and relayed additional information from the suspect's family. They may be going to a law office located on Lewis Turner Boulevard. This prompted the lockdown of Okaloosa Applied Technology School, which is here on the bottom or center of this first photograph here. And we had officers, a lot of officers in that area looking for this vehicle. At approximately 12:49 p.m., a deputy from the Sheriff's Office spotted the suspect vehicle traveling north on Lewis Turner near the courthouse annex. Additional deputies responded to assist that officer at approximately 12:51 p.m. They converged on the area in the suspect's vehicle, which had traveled on Lewis Turner Boulevard to Timberlake Road. The suspect backed up into the roadway and was perpendicular in the center of the roadway to the driver's side facing oncoming deputies from Lewis Turner Boulevard. Contrary to some of the reporting that's occurred, there was no pursuit. Deputies approached and boxed the suspect vehicle from driver's side, the front, and the back. Deputies were issuing orders to drop the gun as the suspect had pointed a handgun at deputies and fired a round at them. Four of the 8 deputies on scene simultaneously fired on the suspect, striking him multiple times. At approximately 12:52 p.m., our dispatch received first transmissions of shots fired. As deputies considered rendering aid, it was obvious the suspect was deceased, and deputies moved from the area and established the crime scene while calling for investigative assistance. Crime scene investigators and medical examiner responded to process the scene. The state attorney's officers responded to assist. Subsequent investigation and review of multiple deputy body cameras revealed that the subject did indeed point a gun at approaching deputies. A .45 caliber handgun and expended shell casing were also discovered within the suspect vehicle. The gun was located in an upright position pointed toward the ceiling between the suspect's right leg and center console. The shell casing was located on the driver's side floorboard. A review of numerous body-worn cameras made it clear that it was a justified use of force by deputies facing a clear and present danger. Deputies involved in the shooting are currently on administrative leave per policy. We will not release those deputies' names until the state attorney's office and our internal review is complete. Next of kin notifications have been made, and both victim and suspect autopsies began this morning and are underway now by Dr. Gallagher's office.
Insurance.
Okay, his father
was his son.
Okay. And how long had he worked there, do you know?
I don't know how long he had worked there. I just know he had worked there for a good period of time.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have body cam footage that indicated whatever it indicated. Does the city police department also have body cam footage? And will either of you or both of you be releasing that at some point? Or,
we also have body camera footage from the scene where the shooting took place.
Sure.
And if there was value to release it, we will release it. Or if a request was made to release it, we would review review it to see if it can be released.
Okay.
That would not be the case with sheriff's office, because it does show the killing of humans, so I think that's protected.
Okay.
Was he trying to target specifically her? Is it too early to say, or was he?
We're still investigating it. Like I said, because the shooting only occurred about 24 hours ago. But we do believe that that was the intended victim, that he was waiting for her to walk out to the parking lot, and that she was the intended target of the shooting.
Had he tried to go into the business to shoot, or was?
Everything took place in the parking lot. He was an employee at the business, but all the actions took place in the parking lot.
Was there any security footage in the parking lot from any businesses that you guys will be using?
We haven't located any security footage yet. If anybody out there has video footage and you have anything else that goes with the case, we'd be glad to take any other statements, video footage, or anything else that somebody may have for us.
You said he used a .45 caliber handgun, if I understand correctly?
Yes, correct. Springfield, 1911, .45 caliber handgun.
Okay. Was that weapon registered to him?
He stole two firearms from his father's safe.
Stole 2 firearms from where?
From his father's safe.
Okay. And was that immediately prior to the incident, or was that?
It was probably, it was some days before that.
Okay. And one of those was the firearm used in the incident?
That's correct.
Okay. So he had, from some background, he had a prior arrest for a domestic violence incident in October this year. Would that have precluded him from having a weapon of his own?
Only if the court order had been issued to seize his firearms.
Okay. In both instances, particularly at the insurance office, do you guys have any idea how many shots were fired, how many struck the victim there?
We know she was struck multiple times in the upper, she had bullet wounds on her right arm and her upper torso area. And we know there was multiple rounds fired. We collected several casings out there. And Brandon, 7, 8? 7.
Once he pointed the gun and fired at deputies, the 4 deputies out of the 8 immediately fired on the subject, and I was guessing by watching the video at least 40 rounds in about 3 seconds.
Okay.
And he was struck multiple times.
Okay.
When was the suspect spotted?
I think the Bolo went out at 12:44, and approximately 12:49, the deputy spotted his vehicle and got in behind him, called for assistance. Deputies coordinated, and at 12:51, they approached him, and at 12:52, the sheriff's office dispatch received word that shots had been fired.
Could I get a spelling on the victim's name?
Edith Cordona, Cordona, Cantu, Cantu.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You said you won't be releasing the names of the deputies involved
Until our internal investigation is complete and until the state attorney's office review of the incident is complete.
Okay. And just so I'm clear in connection with the incident at the insurance office, was she in a vehicle at all, or had she exited a vehicle and that's when the incident occurred, or was she walking out the door of the business? Or?
She was already in the parking lot. From the
Okay.
statements we got from the witnesses,
Okay.
that she was in basically the door frame of her vehicle
Okay.
and engaging in conversation with the suspect at the door of her car with the door open.
Okay. And you say they were engaging in some sort of conversation at the...
Correct. We have several witnesses to the scene, although there's not one witness that witnessed the whole event. There are several witnesses that gave us pieces of the event. And as we reconstructed it, they were engaged in some type of conversation in the door frame of the car.
Was it a routine conversation, or were there angry words exchanged? Or
So we're still investigating it all.
Okay.
Can you talk to some of the challenges you're facing trying to get this case wrapped up?
It's just the process of the investigation. We want to make sure the investigation is thorough. and then we work every possible motive and need that we have. We're going through cell phone records, talking with witnesses, talking with people that may have either saw or heard the shooting, and then we have to put everything together. So we want to determine why the shooting took place, and like the sheriff brought up, mental health may have been an issue in it, and it's very important that if there is a mental health issue, that you come forward and you speak to law enforcement, or you find somebody else to speak to, because we want to deal with the mental health issues before they rise to this type of situation. And recently, the legislature has availed additional tools to law enforcement. We can get a risk protection order, and there's other things we can do. So if somebody does have an issue, you need to bring it to light, because we don't want another horrific incident to occur where everybody knew something was going to happen, but nobody said anything about what was going to happen.
When they spotted him, he was already parked there at the,
No, they spotted him traveling on north on Lewis Turner Boulevard.
Okay.
And then he turned into Timberlake. It'll probably be a little easier to show. They spotted him near the courthouse.
okay,
And then followed him to Timberlake. His vehicle was parked in the center perpendicular to the Timberlake Road.
okay, so he was actually parked in Lewis Turner Boulevard at some point.
No, well, he wasn't parked in Lewis Turner Boulevard.
Okay,
Information we had was that he was going to a law office located on Lewis Turner.
Okay.
Well, there's more than one law office on Lewis
Sure,
Turner.
sure.
We had some deputies in the area. Of course, our courthouse is there, so we have deputies there.
yeah,
So this road travels this direction. He's parked perpendicular on the Timberlake Road. So as deputies are coming down the road, they're facing his driver's side door. And as you can see in this photo, he points the gun out at deputies, and then they engage.
okay, so he was already in the parking area when...
It's not a parking area. He's parked in the road.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Perpendicular in the road.
What can you guys tell us about the victim in this case?
She had moved here a few months ago and got the job at the insurance office, and she is from Texas,
Okay,
and she has a daughter,
okay,
and she's a single mother.
okay. How old is the daughter?
The daughter's 12 years old.
Okay. And no history of, I mean, any,
There was no history that we had reported at the police department between the two of them.
Do you know if,
There was no, they didn't hesitate. Once he became that kind of threat, and they did their jobs and they did it well. So again, I want to reiterate it. If you know a family member or know anybody who has a mental health issue, and whether this was paranoia related or not, it certainly had some involvement in this. And so if you have a relative or anybody you know that is having hallucinations or has a mental illness, please report those abnormal behaviors. And if we don't have any more questions, that will conclude our press conference. Thank you.